What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rogue here. So this is my budget Fire King deck list. I've been going to locals that I've been grinding and learning to deck with. My most recent event, I went X1, which is pretty good considering I beat pure Fire King wanted variants, and I also beat the mirror match a few times as well as other decks. So I'm very familiar with this build. I'm very confident in this build. And I think this build is a really good option for budget players. Before we get to that, your profile, smash that like button. Let's get the video up to 100 likes at least. It'd be highly appreciated to get this video to 100 likes. And also check out my most recent vlog where I go over how just me learning the deck. Because in my new vlog series, the whole purpose of me using this deck is just to take it to the highest level on a budget. Essentially, just not using the Snake Eyes engine and just going my own way. More of an old school route with a twist, and that twist is pretty much skill drain. But yeah, man, you guys will see the list. So we're gonna start off with three Sacred Fire King Garunix, staple of the deck. When he's summoned, you destroy a monster from the deck, and then that's how you start a lot of your combos. Really good, really powerful. Yeah, you got to run three, no exceptions. What more is there to say? One Fire King High Avatar Garunix. Since I am running skill drain in this build, this card has been really good in pit and work. There are a lot of instances where if you have this Garunix in graveyard and you have this Garunix in standby phase, you can bring this one back, blow up your board, get this one back, destroy one from deck, start a lot of your combos, and then if you have your field spell or your continuous spell, I'm sorry, if you have your continuous spell rather, you can XYZ summon to make the Galaxy Eternity this dude to blow up the board. So and then detach, pop, and then pop off again. So yeah, I like this one. He put a lot of pressure. He helped me beat Tillerman's one time just by putting pressure on the board because they kept getting rid of him. They try to get rid of him. I'll pop him. I'll pop him with a monster effect during the next time I phase, blow up the entire board. And yeah, he really helps you in the grind game. One Avatar Rengali and one Marvada. I think this is pretty much the standard in most builds. I have seen some budget builds run three Arvada because he is a monster negate, and I definitely understand why because you just summon him as a free monster negate. However, a lot of the times you really don't want to summon him. You really want to summon your Ponic, so you just leave him as a one of. And plus, you can loop both of these a lot just by abusing them with your Karen. So having one of each is pretty good because this deck list is 40 cards and the deck space is very tight. One Barong, same thing. You can always loop them, bring them back, pop off. Karen pop, bring back Barong. Um, Garunix pop, blow up board. Barong search them next time I face. So yeah, Barong is good. Most people just run one. I think some builds run two. You just need to run one. All honestly, two seems like it would be overkill. Three Ponix, best card in the deck. Next to Garunix. This is the most consistency in this build. I play one for one, so you can one for one this to the field. You get a free summon. Search out your Fire King spell, which is going to be the continuous spell, which is going to activate this field spell, which is going to destroy this to go get your Garunix and just start full combo, which is going to lead to you to 2 to 3 interruptions, which is really good. Then obviously the Creme de la King, three Fire King Karen. So I'm lying. This is probably the best card in the deck. It actually makes the deck. If this card ever gets hit, this deck just dies. Like the deck can still be a good grind deck with this at one. However, if this goes to one, I don't see the deck being as good as it is right now. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can destroy one of the fire monster in your hand or face them on the field. And if you do spend some of this card, if this card is destroyed, you can spend summon one Fire King monster from your grave hand or graveyard except Fire King High Avatar Karen. Then you can destroy one card in the field. You can only use each effective Karen once per turn. So pretty much when he's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can pop one, especially someone one from the hand or the field, except Fire King High Avatar. So a lot of times I like to Karen, pop Karen. The Karen that I popped, bring back Barong or something to get a free pop and loop my Barongs. Like, yeah, this is opening up double Karen is good, especially if you have like an Ash Blossom or something or Fire King Monster in graveyard. Yeah, no, so play on your opponent's turn. It makes the deck, honestly. I'm glad the deck received the support. So that's my monster lineup. I don't know how many monsters it is, don't ask me, but really good solid lineup considering I'm not running the Snake Eyes engine. And then the rest of the hand traps. Three Ash Blossom, staple in this format. Three Effect Bailers. Considering everyone's running TTT, I can see why some people don't want to run Bailor. However, Baylor is good against Fire Kings. Like literally, somebody bring out Grunux to Baylor them, imperm their next play or whatever, and they pretty much just pass. Same thing can be said about a lot of other decks in the format, like against Tier, Baylor some of their plays they just pass, and you can try to outbeat them. So that's pretty much all my monsters right there. Now for the spells, 3 islands. I think that's staple. Actually, no, that's not staple. Most builds run one of these. Some people run two. Budget build, no Snake Eyes in it. Rerunning 3. Reason for consistency. You want to open up your island. If you want to get rid of the island, you want to just keep. You want to have multiple copies to keep abusing it and searching your deck. I found myself a lot of the times just playing this build, running out of materials because it's so consistent. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, just no Snake Eyes engine. You want to abuse 3, no exceptions, in my opinion at least. Then 3 Sanctuary for consistency purposes. XYZ on your opponent's turn is really good. And yeah, getting that board wipe adds another interruption to the deck, which is what I like. Also, considering no Snake Eyes engine, 3 Prosperity for consistency. If you are running the Snake Eyes engine, I can see the justification for not running the Prosperity, but in all budget builds, even the Dogmatica build, I think you should run Prosperity because you want to dig to go grab other pieces to just pop off into your combos. Same thing with 1 for 1, same concept. You want as many special summons as possible, that way you don't have to waste your normal summon. And then 2 Tinkies for consistency. I can see myself cutting Tinky. Like, it's really good in the games where I just want to go ahead. And this is also why you don't run multiple Arvada or multiple Rengali. You can just run 2 Tinkies and just grab whichever one between Barong, Arvada, and Rengata that you want and add it to your hand. Because you can always recycle them back with Karen anyway. So, I mean, I like Tinky, but I can see myself cutting it. I do know that one card that searches out Pyro Monsters comes out next format, but unless you're running the Snake Eyes engine, which a lot of Fire King players will be on a budget because the Snake Eyes engine is expensive. I personally could buy the Snake Eyes engine, but I just can't justify myself spending the money on the engine because I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh enough on a competitive level to even want to buy those cards. And plus, it's $400, but I don't want to pay $400 just to go to locals. It's not that serious to me. But for you guys that it is that serious too, definitely pick up all that new Snake Eyes support. But for you guys that's like me, that's on a budget, you don't need it. I think this is just as good, honestly, because I've beaten Snake Eyes builds with this build, which is adding my confidence to this deck list. 1 Call by the Grave. I mean, it's a hand trap stopper, a staple, especially for the mirror match, really good. 1 Circle of Fire Kings to get some good OTKs with this. You only need this as a 1 of, honestly. 1 Fire King Skyburn. As much as people praise this card, I don't use it as much at all. I'm usually winning before I have to use this. I think this is probably better in the Snake Eyes builds because I see them use this card a lot. But I know it's good. This is one of those cards like it's searchable, it's a free pop. You don't want to get caught without it because let's say you run into like a floodgate that you just can't get rid of. It's a searchable spell, trap, monster, destroyer, and it protects your monster. So it's good as a 1 of, honestly. I can see myself cutting it in the future for something different. Then more hand traps, 3 in Perm, and also the reason why I wanted to play this deck. 3 Skill Drain. The original OG Fire King decks from 2014, the one that cost me my YCS top back in the good old days, ran 3 Skill Drain. The deck is really good. It can abuse Skill Drain, and going first, which honestly, Skill Drain has helped me beat a Snake Eyes build at locals because I flipped Skill Drain, he couldn't get his effects. I was just Karen, pop Karen, bring back like a Barone, put pressure in, bring another Karen on my following turn because Barone is going to start your Karen, and just 24 games. So it's an unfair card, and when you can abuse it, I think you should abuse it. So yeah, this is a 40 card main deck, and honestly, I think this is the best budget build out there because it's less than $100. You don't need a Dogmatic engine. You literally pick up 3 structure decks, 3 common skill drain, pay maybe like 30 or $40 just for some other cards, and you're good to go. Like, I've seen pretty good success with this. Most of my tournaments I went 2-2, and that was mainly just due to me just learning the deck. But now that I'm learning the deck and feeling a lot more confident with the combos, it's been really good, and I'm very satisfied with the deck. Very refreshing from playing heroes. Alrighty, so let's see. Next up for the extra deck, 2 Garunix Eternity Hyines. I could cut it to 1 because I've really only used it once in a duel. However, I like to run 2. I had 1 grind game at locals where 2 came up. However, you really only need 1. But my extra deck is kind of like all over the place. I'm still building on this deck because, like I said, if you guys watch my vlog series, the whole purpose of me is to see how far I can take this deck to locals and regionals and YCS and even nationals, even if this deck is still good, without abusing the Snake Eyes deck. Like, if I can do just as good as people using the Snake Eyes engine, I think this is going to prove to show how good the Fire King engine is, which could potentially cause the deck to get hit if I do really well with the deck. But only time will tell. But right now, I think in the budget build I'm doing, 2 is just fine. But I can see myself cutting 1 eventually for more powerful level 8 XYZ if they come out. Hope Harbinger, I haven't been using it, but I just added it to the deck list because most of my stuff I'm just getting rid of it with Prosperity anyway. But it's really good. It's a spell negator. It's a level 3,000 attack beater. So when I run it for those games, I don't want to blow up the board. I just want some extra negate. One Abyss Dweller. Now this is pretty spicy. I know some budget players have been using and even some regular Fire King players are using Gaga Cowboy for time. I like Abyss Dweller because in the mirror match or any other graveyard based deck, bring out Dweller. You get no effects. Attack. Your turn. Dweller you. My turn. Game. So Dweller has definitely won me games, and I'm happy I'm running it. Then Super Poly targets, Mud Dragon, Garura, Starving Venom. I was running Predator Plant. However, I haven't used it. Even against branded decks when I play Super Poly, I haven't had the opportunity to use the Super Poly to make Predator Plant because I'm either losing before I draw the Super Poly or they don't have the materials on the field for me to Super Poly them properly. So plus Starving Venom is just as good because it's more generic and my extract is kind of tight. One Appaloosa, never made it. However, it's there for the times I can make it with where's that card? With this girl right here. Ideally, if I can get a Little Knight, I would probably replace Appaloosa with a Little Knight. But right now, Appaloosa is good. I know all builds probably run Appaloosa because it's just a solidly good card, especially if you're using a Snake Islands engine to get more bodies on board. That's more than likely the reason why I don't have it, bring it out as much. However, if you guys got Little Knight and you guys want to play this build, just play Little Knight instead. Then, of course, Decode Talker, Sunlight Wolf, the three Link ones, which is Almirage, Amina, Link Kribo for your Ponyx plays. You really want to go Almirage so that way you don't have to worry about running into a Link Karibo. I'm sorry, running into a Bestial monster. Because I learned against the Bestial branded decks or just any deck, a lot of decks is not Fire Kings. They're running Bestials, so you want their Bestials to be as dead as possible. And then Relinquish for when they don't respect zones. Then Hita's just good for the mirror match, and all honestly, that's the only reason why she's there. Then my side deck is really standard right now. It's constantly getting edited. But right now it's 3 Super Polys, 3 Spiritual Fire Art for time. It has yet to come up. Like every time I've gone to time and I went first, I side 3, I just never draw it. Probably because it's not foil, but you know how that goes. But it's there for time when it happens, of course. 3 evenly matched to break back row decks like Labyrinth. And I also was siding it against the Fire King mirror match. I'm probably not going to do that anymore because I've noticed I'm siding a lot for the mirror match. And honestly, all I really need is like Super Poly and Ghost Bells, and I'm good. Ghost Bells in here because I know people are going to side DD Crow, so it just helps out against DD Crow. And it's also good against the mirror match and other graveyard-based decks like Branded. Then Droll because it's Droll. This is debatable to add to the main deck over Valor. And I might do that, but only time will tell. So yeah, man, this is my budget list that's been doing me pretty good at locals. Like I said, most of my losses have not been coming from the deck. It's really just came from me learning the combos and learning the basics of the deck. Because you guys are looking at a player who only really been playing heroes consistently for 8 years. So yeah, I've played other decks, but now I'm really trying to switch it up, play meta again. I haven't played meta in a long time, probably since the Solomon Grey deck came out. And before that, I was playing Monarchs and Windups, like back in the day when Windups were meta. So this is all fun and new to me, man. I'm really having a good time learning this new combos. All right, man. So post thoughts and opinions about this video. Comment section down below. Like the video if you're new here. If you want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. It's your boy Rogue, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys in the next video.